Hey, everybody, welcome back to Red Road Paranormal. My name is Christina Bloom. I am one of your co hosts. I am also a professional psychic, medium, podcaster, paranormal investigator with Adirondack Park Paranormal Society. And I do a lot of fun stuff, a lot of fairs, a lot of shows, meet a lot of people. And later in June, I'm actually going to be going to the location that this beautiful young lady, Jill Shelley, is here to talk about today, the 1861 Lodge. So, with that, I'm going to pass it over to Rez, and then we will let Jill tell us all about herself.
Hey everybody, Favor Resnick here, member of Cryptids and Anomalies in the Paranormal Society. I'm a cryptid investigator, paranormal investigator, medium, member of the Stockbridge Muncie Tribe, Band of Mohicans, all around just goofy nut guy. So take it away, Jill.
Tell us all about yourself, your locations, whatever it is you want to talk about.
Yeah, so my name is Jill. Always been fascinated by the paranormal since I was a young kid. I actually had my first experience at my grandma's house, which kind of fueled me into becoming an investigator. So in 2010, I met a great group of people. We formed our group St. Croix Paranormal. We just started with local homes and businesses. And then after that, we kind of branched out to as I like to call them, the pay to play places. And, so after that, by doing those, I was like, gosh, it would be really fun to have my own haunted location. I would love to do that. So I started out, I first with the Boyd House, and that's in Boyd, Minnesota. And then I thought, oh, I'd like to kind of branch out and get something a little bit bigger. And then I really wasn't planning on getting something so far away from me. Um, but I saw a picture of it and I'm like, oh my God, I have to have this building. So then so then I ended up purchasing the Masonic Lodge, and that is over in Keithsville, Illinois.
Nice.
Excellent.
So you seen it, you had to have it. So I take it was calling to you.
Oh, it was. Well, and the Boyd House did too, because nobody goes around saying, "Hey, my house is haunted. You want to buy it?" So the Boyd House, like I wouldn't say, like I can't, I'm not like a medium. I can't like talk to spirits or communicate in that way. I mean, I feel them when they're around me, so I kind of know when they're there. Sometimes I get intuitions of, hey, we should go to this room. Very strong intuitions. Um, but for the most part, I just kind of go by my gut feel. And when I was looking for a place, I just came across the Boyd House on just basic MLS line. I mean, it was a family home. Somebody lived there for 30 years. But I just got that this is the one feel as soon as I saw it. And then I kind of almost became obsessed with like I'd always look at the pictures like almost every day. And I'm like, why can't we to get there? And then we did a mini investigation at that location. We had the REM pods going off in one room within about 10 minutes. We got a couple things on the spirit box, and one was a woman saying, "Who are you?" Which would make sense because nobody's, has communicated with him. Now, I had talked to the prior family living there, and they were aware that there were spirits, but they chose not to interact with them. And some of the family members didn't also have interactions at all. But spirits were seen in the home, mainly a man. And then we would have people from the town come forward and say, "Hey, when I was a kid, I was friends with them. I slept at their house. This is what happened." So people were getting touched in the middle of the night. So there always has been some paranormal activity. I was just the first one coming in going, "Hey, let's talk. Let's be friends." So
Yeah.
that really kind of amped it up. It took them a while to get going. But then I had that same calling when I saw the lodge. Like I just knew this was the particular building for me. Excuse me. I went and took a look at it, and I think I got like 3 or 4 really good EVPs. I didn't get any equipment interaction that particular day. Didn't really pick up on anything on the spirit box. I just felt them around me, and I got a couple really good EVPs. Like "I see you" was one of them. I remember that. And then interesting enough, I got a kid saying "body," and I'm like, well, why is there like a kid here? Like this doesn't make sense. It's a Masonic Lodge. Well, since we've bought it and done some history, we actually found out this building, and it was being started to build in 1853, I believe, and then they ran out of money, so they had to hold. But it actually was the Arlington Hotel. So from the 1800s until about 1901, 1901 is when it was sold and became a Masonic Lodge. So that would explain to me why there could be children here. So we kind of know a little bit more history of the hotel. So now we're trying to dive into hopefully finding some more information about the hotel.
As you're talking, I'm getting goosebumps all the way down my left arm.
And you mentioned that you're gonna be going, and I'm really excited, being that you're a medium and stuff. I'm really looking forward to seeing like what you pick up on, what you find and what kind of interaction that you'll get. So
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
I'm waiting to hear all the stories.
it's been fun. We spent so it's been vacant for probably, I want to say a year. Somebody told me 10, so I don't really know. Like the guy who bought it, he lives in California. He bought it as he was gonna make it an event center and never did anything with it. So pretty much it's been sitting vacant for a very, very long time. Um, so it's just been really fun. But we spent the whole last 4 weekends there pretty much getting things ready and such, and so we of course didn't have as much time to investigate as I want, but we still got some great EVPs. We got some really awesome equipment interaction. I like the fact that, so the building right now has zero power, so a lot of our EMF devices were working. So to me that's a little bit more valid versus when we go to places like I use the K2 meter, but I don't rely on it because there's power, there's things that can, but when I put it inside a China hutch with some Masonic items, I really should
Mhm.
never expect a K2 meter to be going off. And it's just
Right.
getting up to the red. So it's just been kind of fun being able to have freedom with the EMF. So I'm really toying with like, should I ever really put electricity in or not put electricity in? Yeah, it's kind of a toy for that, but
Mm.
so yeah, we just a lot of equipment interaction. My favorite story I would have to say about the place so far was probably the third time we were there, and actually the whole team came. And Teresa was in the kitchen. She was making a sandwich, and the rest of us were in with the dining room. And that we had the door shut 'cause we had a space heater going, we had the propane heater going. And all of a sudden I heard this loud bam, and I was just like, did she just throw the cooler on the floor? Like that was my first thought, like the whole cooler hit the floor. And she comes bolting through the door, and she's like, oh my god, something just slammed something behind me. So we go in there, there's nothing there because the building's empty. We have some stuff to haul out yet, but nothing in the kitchen. So we tried to figure it out. So we just opened a cupboard door and slammed it real hard, and that was the identical sound. And then we even went into the other room, and then somebody slammed it. And I'm like, yep, that's exactly the sound that we heard. So yeah, something definitely slammed the cupboard door behind her. So it was kind of fun to hear that.
Cool, cool, cool. And it's cool that you're able to go back, recreate it, and document so you actually know what it was.
Right, right.
Yeah.
We've been having a lot of fun too, because the people in town have been coming forward. So we've had just recently a master mason. He came while we were cleaning, and he had been there, I think he said like 70 some years he was the master mason. So we kind of went around, and he said this room was used for this room was that. Um, but actually when we first met, by the I'm Jill, I'm whatever, then his first words out of his mouth was, have you seen her? And I said, seen who? And he goes, the woman. And I go, what woman? And he goes, there's a woman. I see her in the hall all the time. I've seen her multiple times. And then we've had several other people come forward and tell us about this woman, um, in the building. I personally haven't seen her, but I also heard the story right after I bought it from someone who said they had come into the lodge, saw a woman on her hands and knees scrubbing the floor, said hello. She said hello back. She went in the kitchen to say who's scrubbing the floors, and they're like, no one." And then they go back out there, and there's nobody there. So there's definitely some history going on that we're still looking to develop into. So yeah, it's fun. I love doing the history. We just went to the they have a museum, the Sharon Reason. She's the mayor of the
What the
town.
fuck?
So she created a really cool museum, and I just stopped by there. So much history in there of the town, all kinds of old artifacts, so many old newspaper clippings. We got to see some pictures of the lodge when it was a hotel. We got to see like the lodge had a picnic back in the 1900s where like thousands of people took trains in from all over to come to this giant picnic in the 1900s. So yeah, this is
Cool.
a lot of really cool history. And then we went to the county history and found some more stuff. So it's just been really fun to get some information.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah.
I think a lot of us who are into the paranormal every once in a while will see a building or will, you know, see a location and go, man, it'd be so cool to have that. I know it's haunted. It'd be so cool to have that. I love that you actually did it, not once, but twice.
Yeah, call me crazy, want to do it a third time. So we got to get get things put together first. So all the money I've gotten, like the Boyd House, it needed things. So, we've renovated it back to the 1900s because that was built in 1901. And we renovated that back, and we had to put a new roof on it. There's a lot of work needed to be done. And then of course the lodge being built in the 1800s needs quite a bit of work done too. So that's kind
Right.
of the goal we're working for.
I love that. I
Awesome.
love that. So have you had like I know that you have groups that come in because I know Jamie Lynn has set up a couple of different groups because the first one filled like really fast. So
Mhm.
then she set up a second one. So when the groups come in, do you get feedback from them?
Well, I only had two people. So besides my team, I had a solo investigator that I know. So I promised him. So he had first dibs. He actually spent most of his time working while he was there, but he did say he had quite a lot of experiences, and he said it wouldn't disappoint. And then I had another group in. They didn't say that they had captured much, and then that's it. So that's all who's been in there so far. But every day is different. You go to some investigations, you get stuff,
Right.
and some days you don't. So it could just been unfortunately an off day for the first group. I have pumped them up though. Like I've told them, we've had conversations with them through Estes message. My friend Teresa, she's really good. It's almost like I tell her, I said, I don't even think you're really hearing the spirit box. I think they're actually talking through you because her and I can have up to 45 minute conversations just like you and I are having. And it
Hmm.
just continues on and on. It's like a lot of people just do. I've seen the Estes, there's a word here, maybe a sentence, but it's literally conversations, and she will comment on things I'm doing. Like she's blindfolded, her headphones on, I'll yawn and she's like, yawning already? You so tired? Just things like that. It's crazy that she does that. She'll be like, can you get up and dance? And then she'll say exactly what move I'm doing. She'll be like, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like it's just insane. So they came through and they said that they acknowledged the work that we were doing. They were excited that people were coming in, and they were happy that we were going to restore the building. So, but those last 3 weeks, I've really been trying to pump them up, saying, oh, these people are going to come in, and you guys used to do donations for your building and your cause. So this is my way of doing donations. So we'll see. Hopefully things will get a little. And it could be too. I mean, this is all new. This is all
Hmm.
new for them. They don't know. Like I've spent a lot of time, and I did that at Boyd too, because you go to haunted locations, and that spirit by now has had so many people in. They know what a REM pod is, they know what a K2 is, they know what it does, they know how it works. But you bring all this stuff into a spirit from the 1900s. This is all new. Like,
Yeah.
here they've
Yeah.
seen people, but they never really interacted. And here I'm like, touch it. I don't think I want to touch it. It makes noise and blinks lights. I don't know about this thing.
To them, they might think it's witchcraft or something for all we know.
Right. And I actually, with doing the Estes with Teresa, this was just a couple weeks ago, I had put the laser grid up, and I got that super fancy one from Ghost Top that does the nice squares.
Yeah.
And the one spirits, I said, well, could you like walk in front of that light there? That'll let me know you're here. And it says, no, it'll burn me. And I said, no, it won't burn you. He's like, well, it looks hot. And I go, well, I know, but you can touch. He goes, I'm not touching it. So he was like real hesitant and then I kind of thought about it because it looks like
Yeah.
like a toaster, like an inside of a toaster.
Yeah,
So if I
right.
go to the spirit, I'd be like, well, I don't know, it's red, hot, like fire. I no. So I don't know you. I'm not trusting you. So
That's
it's
fair.
yeah, just a very interesting,
Yeah.
concept with them. So, but we've kind of been through stuff. We do get a lot of different REM pod hits, K2 meters, tripwires. Um, just trying to think what else. Boy, if you name it, it's gone off. So,
Cool, cool. Have you yet to spend the night, a full night there? Like
oh
spend the
gosh,
night or a
yeah,
weekend?
yeah. Every time I go there, yeah. But I spent the last time I was there was just 2 weeks ago, I think it was. And I spent Friday and Saturday night there. So.
Okay. So the longer you're in the building, does it seem like anything ramps up more? They get a little more comfortable with you, or does it stay
Well,
about
I
the
think
same?
I think they're knowing who I am. I seem to get a lot of activity even during the daytime because I've been there. When we kind of finished up for last week before people open, I pretty much spent the last 2 days investigating. So we got a little bit more interaction, a lot more activity. So we're getting like REM pod hits and noises and different equipment going off. And that was at like, 1 in the afternoon, 3, 5 o'clock. It's just that it was just hit or miss, and then I've been there where, it's super active way late at night, but nothing happened during the day. So I think it's just kind of when the energy level is. I was just up there and this was like a weird thing. So, and it could have been that I had pretty much like 9 EM pumps in that room. So for like hours. So I thought this is gonna be my experiment. So every day I like would just put like 9 EM pumps in one room and then just set stuff up and just see if that would help. So I was up in the main lodge and Donna was down sleeping, taking a nap. So I thought I'm just gonna go do solo stuff around here. It's daytime, so I'm fine. So I'm just sitting up in the main lodge there, just having a conversation, talking, and then two of my REM pods in the main area started lighting up with the temperature, like quick change, both of them. Not at the same time, but one, and then just maybe a minute or two later, the next one, and then they kept holding there. And I was like, oh, what are they malfunctioning? What's going on? And then right as soon as I said that, because I'm like, oh, I hope these batteries aren't bad. Then all of a sudden in the other room, I had another REM pod and that started going off, but not temperature. That fully hit and spiked all the way and it held it for about 15 seconds all the way. So, and at that time too, the energy was so heavy, like you could just feel it. It was insane. I just even felt the pressure in my ears. Like I'd never felt that intensity. It's like everything just got completely electrified. It was just crazy with everything going off. And it was just as I can't even explain it. I've never felt it like that. I've never felt that intensity of energy before. Of course, I blamed it on all the EM pumps, but you know.
Couldn't have been you. No.
So yeah, it was interesting. And then I think it was that same weekend, we were just sitting in like the main, I call it the blue room, but it's actually, I guess, where the women would serve food. Um, all the rooms are blue, so I don't know why I call it the blue room, but so I had the tripwire just laid across the floor. I was the only one in the building because Donna went next door to get coffee at the gas station, so that's conveniently located for people. And I was just sitting there talking, and all of a sudden, the tripwires started going off, and it was just like coming at me, but I could feel the energy almost like electric, and then it like touched the bottom of my shoe like it was going through the floor. And it almost felt like if you touch an electric fence or something electrical, because I got that
Okay.
that jolt just through the bottom of my foot, and it was all as
Hmm.
the came down straight down the line because my foot was in line with where the traveling of the was. And I was like, okay, that was weird because I have never felt that either. So not sure what that was all about. But being again, we have no power in the building.
Cool.
Yeah.
I want to go back to you said that you started getting interested in the paranormal when you were young. What sparked your interest? Was it your
But
grandparents' house or?
yeah, so I was at my grandparents' house. They built it, so there would be no reason where I think they'd be haunted. Maybe the land was, I don't know. But my one of the rooms in the back was always, none of us kids liked being back there. You always kind of felt like something was like staring at you, like, get out of here. I don't want you in here.
Yeah.
I always felt like it was coming through the closet, and she didn't really have a clutch door on it. She just had like a drape over it. But I always hated it. Like, I just, even if I ran in there to get something, I'm just like, oh, I just couldn't stand it. And one particular night, I was sleeping in the normal room I sleep in, which is across from that one. My parents were in the other room, and I woke up for some reason, and I heard footsteps coming out of that room, and it stood in front of my door, and my back was to the door, and I could just feel something like just piercing through me. And I was just like, oh my God, oh my God. I didn't want to turn around because I was, I don't know, maybe 8 years old or something. So I'm like, oh God, so
Mhm.
um, yeah, so I did it, and I just kind of heard it, and then I turned around and it walked away, and then I just threw the blankets over my head. And in the morning, I just happened to just mention it to my grandma, and she sleeps downstairs, so there's no way it was her. And she just randomly just like, "Oh gosh, honey, that's a ghost and he's not gonna hurt you." And I was like, "All right, what?" And my religious grandmother's just like, "No big deal." So I was just like really intrigued at that point. Um, just to learn more about them. Like, I had to find out and learn more. So I just kind of did a lot of reading, watched, any documentaries you had on TV because we didn't have the internet back then. But so with the advent of the television shows coming out is when I was like, oh my gosh, this is a thing. Like, you can really do this. And then that's where I started meeting people who did that. And then that's how we all got to get into everything. So
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yes, very cool.
Questions popping into my head. So I'm thinking a Masonic Lodge, that's a big brick building, right?
right.
Are you considering at some point when you're ready to, having like paranormal conventions or anything like that there?
Yeah, actually, I was talking to Donna about that. We were hoping maybe in June of next year. We kind of tentatively picked a date. Because it's going to take a while to get that planned and stuff. But I
Oh,
think I
yeah.
think that would be really fun, and I really would like to pull that off. I think that would be great. And it'd be good for the building to raise money because we need a new roof. We need windows put in because a lot of them are broken out. So we just got to kind of save it that way. And then we got some walls and things we need to fix as well. But that'd be a great way to bring it back in. And we'll also help the community. It's a very small community. They only have like 600 in their town. But
Hmm.
I will tell you, this is the friendliest town I have ever been welcomed to in my entire life.
Cool,
So
cool.
That's
just
awesome.
great, great, wonderful people. They're excited about the ghost things. And look, I was even out in the yard doing some yard work, and someone drove by, rolled the window down. It's like, "How's the ghosting going?" So
Cool.
yeah, very, very friendly people. So they're just an awesome group. So
I love that. It just sounds like a perfect place to have something like that. Like, um, I had another question about you restoring it. Are you restoring it back to the Masonic Lodge or back to its original hotel format?
well, I mean, I'm not going to be like knocking walls down or anything, but if people can come forward, hopefully, or we can find some photographs, I would like to maybe kind of just maybe bring it back to that state. But if it seems to be, it's a little early to tell yet. Do we have more Masonic spirits or do we have more hotel spirits? Because I sure would hate
Gotcha.
to switch it to hotel when it's mostly Masons, vice versa. I'm one of those that I like to keep my spirits happy. I try to find out that things that they like, and like the Boyd House, I bring them gifts all the time. Like every time I go, I'm the only person I know who shops for dead people. So,
There's nothing
so,
wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all.
yeah, I mean they tell me things or I just see things. I'm like, I think Minnie would really like this. And so I'll bring it and I'll give it to her, and then I'll put a REM pod by it. Usually she hits it if she likes it. If she doesn't, I feel disappointed. But so yeah, I just try to have a really good rapport with them, if I can. I spend a lot of time, not only, they get enough so much with people investigating that I try to just take it more on a personal level. Now sure, I'll throw some things out and run a recorder. I always run a voice recorder. But I'll just sit and clean and talk. Like I at the Boyd House, one of my good EVPs I captured, I was just cleaning, yammering away, like I'm going to a wedding this weekend. You ever been to a wedding? Because they're really great. And I was just like just talking. So I overtalked part of what she said, but there was a woman, and then it was as I was talking, I couldn't make it out, and then she goes, "I'm trying to sleep." So I thought that was kind of funny. Here's, I'm just rambling on. This poor lady's trying to take a nap, and I'm ruining it for her. She's probably like, "Get
Right.
That's a new one on me,
Well,
taking a nap.
Yes.
yeah.
Wow. That's
Uh,
interesting.
back to the comment about possibly maybe doing some events down there. If you do, sign me up. I'd love to come down, but I'm gonna want to spend the night.
Okay,
You
cool.
know.
Yeah, because I figure I do something typical, like, well, I've seen other places, but you do like the convention, and then you do like maybe one or two groups of doing investigating at, like maybe 4 hours a piece and 4 hours a piece or something.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think that would
Yeah.
be kind of a fun thing to do too. And people get to see it, and who can't normally want to just come with, because not everybody has a group, and not everybody's going to get a couple friends together. And I kind of feel so a lot of times if you don't have equipment, it can be kind of boring. Um,
Yeah.
as you know, it's a lot
But
of sitting around and waiting, but
all investigations can be pretty boring, no matter
oh
if you
yeah,
got the equipment or not.
Exactly.
right, right. So, yeah, like at
Yeah.
Boyd House, we do provide some basic equipment, usually stuff that I had an abundance of or I don't use anymore. I've donated to the Boyd House. So that's really nice. So we get a lot of people who come in that they're paranormal enthusiasts, but they've never really investigated. So we give them the option. They can have that kind of stuff to play with. And I kind of put a little book together for them, that tells them what it is and how to work it. So yeah, people seem to have a lot of fun with that. So I probably won't do that at the lodge because that's more geared for, uh, paranormal investigations.
Yeah.
Uh, and so is the Boyd House, but I think because the Boyd House is a fully functioning house, that people can come and stay and don't have to do like the ghost hunting thing where you're blowing up an air mattress if you're going to sleep at all, and living that kind of life. So, I think the lodge caters to a little bit different structure of people.
That makes sense.
Yep. Totally.
And because I didn't write fast enough, where did you say the Boyd House is located again?
That's in Boyd, Minnesota.
Boyd, Minnesota. Okay, I couldn't
Yeah.
remember which
Yep.
state.
Yeah, that's 145 miles southwest of the Twin Cities, or we're an hour from Brookings, South Dakota. So we're very southwest corner of
Okay.
Minnesota. Yeah, we get a lot of people from Iowa because we're really more closer to the Iowa border.
Okay.
Hmm.
Cool. I have spent way more time in Minnesota in the last few weeks than I intended to, but um, done a few different uh, metaphysical events and kind of combination psychic fair, paranormal fair, con, whatever. So yeah, I've been in what, Brainerd? Where were we last weekend?
That Mankato,
Mankato.
yeah,
Mankato.
Mankato one. I didn't make it to
Yeah.
that one. I was thinking about getting a booth, but then I was like, ugh, I gotta take a break.
Yeah. Alexandria, I've been there, I've been to Grand Rapids, so that, I've been in Minnesota a lot lately, which is interesting because I actually, when I was a kid, I lived on the Minnesota-Wisconsin border.
Okay.
So just the
Well, this year
Mississippi
you
between
hit us
us.
great this year because we had no snow. We were never cold. We were like the perfect place to be this winter. If you were looking for a nice, which never happens in this state, by the way. So
And it might not
Yep.
happen again for 100 years or
it
so.
probably won't. Yeah, we're gonna get nailed next year. I just know it.
Yeah, I know here in Wisconsin we had a real mild winter.
Yeah.
You know, it was beautiful.
Yeah. I'd take it every year. But it's not gonna happen.
Right?
Oh, that's crazy. The whole world is changing so quickly on so many different levels all at one time. And it's like, yeah, I think a lot of us are turning to the paranormal. This is my own personal opinion, are turning to the paranormal who haven't been involved in it before, because if nothing is going to make sense, we might as well have fun with it.
That's right.
Right?
So I love
So
that.
you said you're looking for a third location? Did I catch
Well,
that right earlier?
it's always on the table. So, Yeah, I always like I'm always shopping. It doesn't mean I'm gonna jump into it because I know I really have to work on the lodge before I can move forward, but it always gets me excited.
I know.
I was just on looking the other day. I'm like, ooh, look at this house here in Iowa. Ooh, it's a really nice one, 1800s. It's like, I had a good feeling by mentioning my husband. He's just like, okay, that's all he said. So I know he would never say no, but but it's like I just need to focus. I got to get off my squirrel and just work on the one project at a time. And so maybe in a because it was a couple years. Well, I think I've had Boyd. Well, 2018 is when I got Boyd, so that was about 5, 6 years. And now I'm just able to start a new project because Boyd's kind of sustained. It's unless we need repairs, I'm happy with what I've done to it. There's really not much more to do to it. Um, so now I just moved on to this project. That's one's gonna take me a little longer.
I'm going to ask this a couple of times throughout this show, but how do people get a hold of you if they want to set up an investigation at either place?
Yeah, so you can just go to our website. So the lodge is haunted 1861 masonic.com. And then the Boyd House is boydhouse217.com.
Okay.
And that's got all the information there, pricing, it's got our available calendar. And usually we just have people kind of look at the calendar, submit a request for the date, because sometimes I'll get requests that when I'm at work and I haven't been able to update the website till I get home.
Right.
Um, and then I'll, confirm or whatnot with them. So and then we just kind of go from there. So yeah, both places are real easy. What the nice thing is you are 100% the only group there. Actually, because I don't live close to either location, there's a lockbox, so you get a code to get in. You are the only ones there.
Awesome.
So
Nice.
that's real nice. And then I like to make my little plug for Boyd House because I provide snacks at that place. So
Oh, got me sold. I'm coming. What kind of snacks we got?
oh gosh,
I'm a
you
big
know
guy. I
what?
like to eat.
It goes crazy. Like right now, I gotta bring this down. I got this 30 pack of the Oreo cookies and stuff like that. I put that on
Nice.
Oh,
this
I'm a
weekend.
cookie monster.
But yeah, I got cookies, chips. I do Slim Jims, fruits and nuts and all kinds of crazy stuff. My husband thinks I'm nuts. But anyway, everybody loves the snacks. So when they do comment, I point it out to him. So he keeps quiet about it now. So
You're not the only one whose husband thinks you're nuts. I'm just wanted to let you
I
know.
know, I know. He's
My
just,
wife thinks I'm nuts, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we all get along because we're all crazy. So
all
Yeah.
right.
My
yeah.
husband calls me crazy lady, like it's my name.
Yeah, I'm like that too. I'm always from one project to another to do this, to do it, into this, not into that. Let's do this. Let's not do that. So it's like,
That's good. Keeps you out of trouble.
yeah, I try to.
One of my favorite things when going to any haunted location, including where I live, actually, is just to communicate because I have the ability to do that, because I have the ability to have a conversation without needing to have a ghost box or whatever.
Right.
Um, I just want to find out what's up with people. It's like, why are you still here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to sit there and think I would love that gift, but then I'm like, maybe I wouldn't because they would come to you. I'm assuming they just come to you sometimes.
Sometimes.
Not necessarily even at a haunted location. You just might be at a store or whatever. I would feel like after a while you're like, leave me alone.
Well, you
That's what
just learn.
boundaries are for.
You learn to put up boundaries. Yeah.
Oh, do you? Okay,
Hmm.
because I'm just like that would drive me nuts. But
Yeah.
yeah, that would be amazing to be able to do something like that.
Yeah, I love going into different places, and I I can hear the spirits when they choose to talk to me. I'm going to put it that way because
Right.
there might be spirits there that don't choose to talk to me, and that's fine. I
Mhm.
don't take it
Yeah.
personally. I don't expect everybody in the grocery store to talk to me. Why would I expect the one spirit I see?
Right.
But
Right.
it's I love going in and hearing their stories and sharing their stories because to me that's important. They might still be here because they have a story to share. I
Yeah.
that's
And
what the
that's what I would love to find out too, because
yeah.
like you said, you have the gift. I just have to go off of, well, maybe they told me on the spirit box, maybe they said it on an EVP, maybe they'll talk through Teresa. but I don't get always that knowledge because I really do care and I do want to know who they are. And, like with the Eckarts, like I know who they are. We found out that for sure Fred is there. We know Fred's there. We've got EVPs that said this is Fred. Lots of I'm Fred. This is, we get a lot of that. I've had other mediums say, yes, I met a man there. His name was Fred. So I kind of memorialized the family. Like I got, we got on Ancestry. We were able to get a lot of information about them. Actually, his grandson still lives in town, so he gave us a bunch of personal stories. And then his great granddaughter recently got a hold of me, and she sent me a ton of photos and a ton of stories that we had typed out, and we have it in the book now. So those memories will always last forever because you're not going to know that the chicken was the best dinner she loved to make. You're not going to find that things that she fell
Yeah.
downstairs and broke her arm.
Right.
Um, but then I also use those as questions too on like my spirit box and stuff, which with the breaking of the arm, I did that one time too. I said, who fell down the stairs and broke your arm? And then they said, Minnie did. So it's like it confirms and validates, what's actually going on. So I do
Right.
like that as well.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite part of what I'm able to do, aside from doing readings for people and helping them heal, find closure, communicate with their loved ones. I love going to the locations, and not even like official locations,
Uh-huh.
but just, when I come into contact with different spirits wherever they happen to be, and having that conversation and finding out about them, finding out about their life, finding out about, what it is that they loved, and why are they still there, and have they gone to the light and come back, or are they just hanging out, or, then the difference between an intelligent haunting and a residual haunting. And I just, that's my favorite part of what I'm able to do. I am my equipment. That's it.
Yeah, you don't need nothing. Just bring yourself. That's
That's it.
that's travel pack and light right there.
There you go. I might take my phone out, do a video once in a while, but
Sure.
yeah, I'm my own equipment. And I know a lot of mediums who say the same thing. I'm my own equipment.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one. We went just for fun. She went to a location with us, and she, we were getting good stuff with her, and it was really amazing and cool. But then we pull out the spirit box. She's like, I just can't be here right now with this thing. So
I feel the same way. It's
so yeah, I mean, it
too
makes
much
sense. You're
noise.
like, yeah, yeah. You're like, I already kind of can talk. I don't need this.
Yep.
And I was just like, well, that's how I have to do it. So she excused herself, which was totally fine. But it was just kind of interesting, how
Yeah.
you guys. Well, I mean, you said that too, but how she perceived it was like, I don't need this.
Yeah. It's just noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know Rez is a big fan of the Estes method.
I am. I'm intrigued by it. Done it a few times, but I still like things that flash, make noise.
Hmm.
Even though I do pick up on stuff in locations, I still like that outer confirmation to make sure I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that
love
doesn't.
I love the REM pods when they go off. I say we're like the weirdos that are like, yay, do it again. It's like,
Right, that's me. All right, let's try it again, guys.
yep, yep. You get all excited for that kind of stuff.
You
So
know, especially my little favorite, my little cat balls here.
oh yeah, we use those there. We had one on the podium. Surprisingly, Donna found the podium and she got it for like $5 at a thrift store.
Oh
It
wow,
fit perfect. And then I had put a friend of mine, her mother was part of the Masons, and so she had like so that'd be Eastern Star actually, but so she's been giving me a bunch of stuff. And anyway, I had a like a Masonic gavel. So I put that on top of the podium with the cat ball, and that went off a couple times too.
nice.
So that was pretty cool. I was excited about that.
So, in all your years of investigating and having these haunted locations, have you ever had a point where you got scared out of a location?
Um, I've never left a location. Scared, yes. Um, I think my first one, so the first one we went to was the Villisca Axe Murder House. And that was our very first true haunted location that we went to. Like I say, the pay to plays. I was terrified to be in there. Just because I'd never been there and we were getting so much interaction. But I made it. And so after that, now everyone's like, you sleep in there? So it's like, I'm like, I'm old. I need my air mattress. I got the double high. I'm out. Yes, I sleep. So it's like, um, but I think one of the craziest places we were at Whispers Estate in Mitchell, Indiana. Real known for a lot of negative energy there. There's one particular closet where the guy he was always kind of a crabby guy anyway, I guess, but the day he retired, he dropped dead in front of this closet, and he's not a happy camper. So he tends to scratch people, push people, lock people in the closet. It's the type that you like pick it up, slide it over, drop it down. So they're like, how do you even get locked in there? Like it's literally locked. Like somebody has to let you out. But when I say closet, it's like big. They have a little table in there, two chairs. I can stand in there. So Teresa and I are, of course, hey, let's go in the closet. So we're standing in the closet, and I heard this voice in my head that says, "Get out of this closet." Well, I have kind of a fear anyway of getting shut in and locked in places. Like it just terrifies me if that ever happens. So I freak out. I just started kind of freaking out myself. I'm like, I just like, I'm out, I'm out. And I didn't say anything to her because I thought, oh, it's just me. It's just my crazy, don't want to be in here. And then on the spirit box, it said, shut this door. And of course, we didn't do that either. And then next thing you know, Teresa and the chair come flying out of the closet, and she lands on all fours, hands and knees. And of course, me, that you got to debunk this now. I'm like, did you fall forward? She's like, okay, dude, if I fell forward, I would be like still in the closet. I'm here in the hallway with the chair, and I physically felt somebody pick it up and do this. So yeah, so that was a pretty freaky moment at that time, but we were just having a crazy night too. We saw like wet footprints coming up the stairs, constant cobweb feeling, like we were just doing this all night, everybody, all night long, even though there was nothing there. It
Yeah.
was just
Yeah.
insane night. And of course we all said we were never going back. And 4 years later,
I was gonna say, how many times have you been back?
yeah, 4 years I went. Teresa, however, the one who got thrown refuses to go back. So we did get some stuff that night, but it was not like that original night that we had been there. So different energy that night. Who's to say? Would it have been the same if Teresa returned with us? It's hard to say. Um, but yeah, at least it wasn't as freaky that night
Right.
because we were seeing some black shadow figures. The energy was high. It was really intense. But I didn't get that feel. I was actually comfortable sleeping that night. Um, so it was just a totally different feel on the second round. So you just never know what you're going to get those days.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Wow. I just ran out of questions. I'm sorry.
I, you ain't the only one that pulled a mind blank, so it
I just
happens.
my brain just went tweak. Was there any other information that you wanted to share with us? If you could repeat the websites again, that would be awesome.
Yeah, so for the lodge, it is the haunted 1861 Masonic.com. And then the Boyd House is boydhouse217.com. And that'll get you there for all the information you need.
Okay, I'm just writing that down.
Me too.
Boyd, did you say Boyd House 617?
217.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, that's
So do
okay.
you
If
have,
you're like me, you give me a number and I'll be like, what number? But I
Wait.
can remember everything else. Numbers.
Yeah, me too.
hmm,
They get mixed around and upside down and backwards and everything.
Right.
Um, so, wow, this is really cool. I want to thank you for taking some time to come and chat with us today. I very much appreciate it.
yes.
Oh, you're welcome. And definitely shoot me a message when you're come back from the lodge because I want to see what you've picked up on. If you talk
Okay.
to anybody, just anything, because I think that'll just be really awesome. Um, and again, I talk to them too about if people tell me things. We do have a guest book at the lodge. We
Okay.
also have a guest book at Boyd. that people can write their experiences and talk about. And sometimes, or I'll see their video. People put videos on YouTube. So sometimes I'll say, "Oh, so and so said this. Then that was kind of funny. Did you do this?" Or like I'll talk to them about things that have happened with previous guests. Just I like that keep that personal, you know, touch with them, whether they're
Right.
really listening or not. I don't know, but I don't know. It just makes me feel better.
Yeah, we have a friend who has a haunted location and he's very protective of his spirits.
Yep.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
You got to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, share with your friends. Thank you very much. I appreciate it when y'all do that. Um,
Yes. It helps
yeah,
us out a lot.
it does. It helps us out a lot. What were you going to say? I'm sorry. I cut you off again. I do that a lot. I'm
Nope.
sorry.
No, no, no. You're good.
All right, Jill, any last words?
No, just hopefully people can come out and experience either the Boyd House or the Masonic Lodge and just hopefully share out their experiences because I love to see what everybody gets.
Awesome.
Are you going
Thank
to be
you.
promoting this at any events this summer? People
Uh,
come out and talk to you personally about it?
yeah, we'll be at like the Michigan Paracon. Yeah, we're gonna be around. I have so many that I can't even think of where they're all going. We're like doing the Benton Historical Society, the Rock Island Paranormal uh convention there at the YMCA. That's in October, so we'll be at that one. Great Lakes Conference over there in Glenbeulah, Wisconsin. So those are some of the bigger ones that I'm thinking of. We just signed up for one in Indiana, Crawfordsville. Uh,
Nice.
yeah, so we're just kind of getting around, yeah, just making our way, getting our name out there and talking to people. And
So that's where people can look for you.
yes, just check your local convention. We may or may not be there.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, Jill.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
All right. It's been a blast.
See y'all next time.